The two mega clubs Virgil van Dijk rejected to stay at Liverpool. Liverpool supporters are riding a wave of euphoria right now, and with good reason. In a matter of days, two of the club's most iconic modern figures, Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk, have committed their futures to Anfield by signing new contracts. On top of that, the Premier League title is tantalizingly close, with just a few victories potentially sealing the deal. The club's leadership deserves immense recognition for navigating what could have been a volatile transition period. Their strategy to persuade Salah and Van Dijk, arguably two pillars of Liverpool's recent success, to stay on board has paid off in spectacular fashion. Just months ago, fans were uncertain what to expect from Arne Slot's new era. Concerns loomed over squad structure and the possibility of key stars walking away for free. At one point, it looked like rival clubs were circling like sharks, eager to lure away Liverpool's biggest names. Even as those clubs dangled enormous financial packages in front of them, the players chose to stay loyal to Merseyside. Once again, Liverpool stood strong in the face of pressure and emerged victorious. When the announcement came that Salah had signed on for more years in red, the club's media team sent out a clever message: more in than out. It was a subtle callback to Salah's own public comments in recent months, when he hinted at a desire to wrap up negotiations swiftly. While Salah has always expressed deep affection for Liverpool and the fans, there were credible rumors that Saudi Arabian clubs had made serious approaches. Despite those overtures, the Egyptian forward remained committed to Anfield, turning down the riches of the Middle East. Van Dijk's situation, while similar in nature, had its own twists. Reports from earlier this year suggested Paris Saint-Germain were quietly plotting a sensational move for the Dutch centre-back. Anfield Watch had long maintained that a renewal was likely, but even they acknowledged that PSG's interest was very real. As exclusively revealed, the French giants were prepared to offer Van Dijk an eye-watering $100 million package, $80 million in salary over 2 years, plus a $20 million signing-on bonus. But PSG weren't the only suitor. According to Mail Sport, Chelsea were also considering making a move for Van Dijk, exploring the potential to acquire him on a free transfer. However, they reportedly walked away from the situation once they learned that the Dutchman was leaning heavily toward a contract extension with Liverpool. Truth be told, it's not surprising that one of the finest defenders of his generation would attract serious interest. Clubs across Europe would jump at the chance to sign a player of Van Dijk's stature without paying a transfer fee. And yet, the real story here isn't just about who wanted him. It's about who kept him. The uncertainty surrounding Van Dijk's future cast a long shadow over Liverpool's season. Now, with the dust settled, fans can finally breathe a sigh of relief. In his announcement video, Van Dijk closed with the words, "It was always Liverpool." That sentiment may have been tested behind the scenes, but the outcome proves his heart remained on Merseyside. Much of the credit belongs to Liverpool's recruitment and executive team, who stayed firm in their approach, resisted panic, and showed faith in their leaders. It was not an easy journey to reach this point. The 2024-25 season has taken supporters on an emotional roller coaster filled with uncertainty, hope, and ultimately celebration. Van Dijk's contract renewal marks the end of what had been an intense year of speculation. He had been free to negotiate with overseas clubs since January 1st, and yet his camp decided back in December to put all other discussions on hold to focus exclusively on Liverpool. There were minor flirtations with PSG, but that chapter closed quickly as negotiations with the Reds picked up speed. Now that the deal is official, fans can look ahead with confidence. Van Dijk will remain a cornerstone of the team for at least 2 more seasons, and potentially longer. So why did it take so long to get the deal done? One of the biggest factors was Van Dijk's age. The Dutchman turns 34 in July, and Liverpool have historically been cautious when offering long-term, high-value contracts to players past the age of 30. The club's policy has always been about protecting long-term sustainability and avoiding the financial pitfalls of paying large sums. to declining players. That said, Van Dijk is no ordinary footballer. This season, he's been outstanding at the back, commanding, composed, and leading by example. He still brings immense value through his leadership, tactical intelligence, and reading of the game. What's more, defenders tend to age more gracefully than forwards or wingers, unless, of course, you're Mohamed Salah, who seems to have defied all aging logic with his super hum.
Manchester United and Arsenal gear up for summer striker battles. Amid intense transfer market shakeup, the summer transfer window of 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most competitive and intriguing in recent memory, especially for Premier League giants Manchester United and Arsenal. Both clubs are on the hunt for elite forward options to address long-standing issues in their attacking departments. With Manchester United intensifying efforts to sign rising Ipswich Town star Liam Delap, and Arsenal pushing forward with talks for several high-profile strikers including Jonathan David and Alexander Isak, the stakes couldn't be higher. Manchester United move into pole position for Liam Delap. Manchester United appear to have taken a significant step forward in the race to secure one of England's most sought-after young forwards, Liam Delap. The 22-year-old striker, currently playing for Ipswich Town, has caught the attention of multiple top-tier clubs across the Premier League after an impressive campaign despite his team's ongoing relegation battle. According to fresh updates from Team Talk, the Red Devils have experienced what's being described as a major breakthrough in negotiations with Delap's camp. The same report claims that Manchester United's financial and sporting proposal is currently leading the pack, putting them ahead of fellow Premier League rivals, including Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and Arsenal. What sets United apart at this stage is the perceived robustness of their proposal. Sources close to the situation suggest that the package presented by the Old Trafford hierarchy is not only financially superior, but also offers a clearer sporting project for Delap's immediate development and long-term potential. Given the club's renewed focus on youth and rebuilding under a more sustainable model, the English U21 international is seen as a pivotal part of their forward strategy. A £30 million release clause presents opportunity. Delap's current contract at Ipswich Town reportedly includes a release clause that becomes active if the club is relegated from the Premier League, which now seems increasingly likely. This clause sets the forward's asking price at a relatively modest £30 million, a figure that has drawn in a host of elite suitors. While that fee may seem like a bargain for a player of Delap's potential, the competition for his signature has driven urgency among interested clubs. Manchester United's decision to act quickly and decisively could make all the difference as they look to finalize the deal before the market heats up further. Why Delap is a natural fit at Manchester United. Despite Ipswich's collective struggles this season, Delap has been a standout performer. The young striker has racked up 12 goals and contributed 2 assists in 31 league appearances, numbers that become even more remarkable when viewed in the context of a team that has only managed to score 33 times in total. Delap's goals account for over a third of Ipswich's offensive output. His ability to find the net against big teams has not gone unnoticed either. Delap scored a brace against Aston Villa in a dramatic 2-2 draw and also notched goals against both Chelsea and Tottenham, showing that he's more than capable of delivering in high-pressure situations. At just 22, he still has plenty of room for development, but his physicality, movement, and eye for goal have already marked him out as a top-tier prospect. Statman Dave, a prominent football analyst, recently described Delap as a player destined for the top, and those around him seem to agree. If he can make the transition to a club like United, surrounded by more consistent creative support, his numbers could skyrocket in the years ahead. Arsenal's summer plans, a title dream and a striker priority. While Manchester United are focused on reinforcing a youthful squad to return to domestic and European relevance, Arsenal's summer will be defined by their pursuit of Premier League glory. After back-to-back second-place finishes, including this season's run behind Arne Slot's Liverpool, Mikel Arteta's Gunners are desperate to bridge the final gap and claim their first league title since the famous Invincibles campaign of 2003-04. Central to those ambitions is the acquisition of a top-tier striker. Arsenal have created a high number of quality chances over the last 2 seasons, but have lacked a truly clinical finisher to convert them on a regular basis. Gabriel Jesus, while technically gifted, has struggled with consistency and injuries. And Eddie Nketiah has yet to prove himself as a reliable first-choice striker. Alexander Isak, the dream signing, but at a steep price.